Hey guys, so wanted to do a video, probably going to be a little bit of a shorter video about me, about who this person is and what I want to bring to the table. So I'm Joshua. Hi, nice to meet you. And I am a quarter of a century years old in this life, and I've had an awareness since I was very young that I wanted to help people. You'll excuse the driving if that makes people nauseous. I can always do videos in a different setting. This is just, it distracts me and keeps my mind busy so that I can actually think and say what I want. So I've had an awareness since I was very small that I wanted to help people. When I was about 13, I realized I had the ability to take pain out of people's bodies. And I thought it was really weird. I was really embarrassed about it. I shared it with people and they would make fun of me. They wanted me to use it on them, but then they would make fun of me when it worked. And I never really understood that, but it kind of put like a bad spin on it for me. And so I didn't trust myself with the ability. I stopped practicing it. And only when I was about 17, going out of high school into college, did I really start rediscovering the ability and practicing it more openly. Now, it was during this time too that I learned about different forms of energy healing. I learned that what I was doing wasn't necessarily any different than what other people had done throughout time, throughout history, different cultures. So I became more comfortable with it. I started getting Reiki sessions, which is a form of Japanese healing, and it completely changed the person that I was. It allowed me to kind of transform into the person, or at least closer to the version that I was meant to be. So I started practicing Reiki, and I lost weight. I was able to get out of negative relationships and rebuild them as better relationships. And it helped me change a lot of my thought patterns and belief systems that were not serving me anymore, that I had held on to for years without really questioning why, and I was able to move through them. So I lived on the East Coast. I actually lived in South Carolina for a little while. Well, I say a little while. It was like all my life until I was about 20, 23. And then I prayed. Oh boy. When I pray, I'm like driving in the car. I'm like yelling, "Why is this going on? Help me out here. Let's have a conversation about it." I'm very vocal when I do pray. And I ask for God to send me a sign, because I'm very obtuse. I'm maybe a little too intelligent for my own good, and I question everything, which I think is like a double-edged sword. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because you question everything and you're never comfortable where you're sitting, you know? So I'm like, give me a sign, give me something very obvious that I'm not going to be able to kind of dismiss, and help me out. So I had been staying at my mom's in Texas. I was visiting for a week, and just out of the blue, I throw in a job application at a little donut shop down the street, because Texas has donut shops everywhere. I still don't really understand that, but for whatever reason, they were excellent donuts at that place. Just had a good vibe, had a really good feeling about it. And so, pretty much on the spot, she gives me an interview. Here's my situation out. You know, I'm living in South Carolina at the time. Is willing to give me the 2 weeks to put in my notice at the place that I work in South Carolina, and drive out to Texas. And I literally start work the next day while I'm on vacation. so that they can train me up, because they're losing people in that 2 weeks that I'm going to be gone. So what was interesting about that was I had started with my pastor back in South Carolina, asking him about reading the Bible, because I have a very short attention span. And sitting down to read Genesis, it's like pulling teeth almost, at least in my head. So he said, look, start with the book of John. I have the same problem. Start with the book of John, and that's going to give you kind of the story that you need to know moving forward into the New Testament, because Old Testament's kind of just historical at this point anyway. So I had read up to the point where there was a certain verse in the book of John, and lo and behold, never this being my second time in this donut shop, I look into the back, and on the wall there is a canvas art poster that says a quote from the book of John. It was literally the quote that I stopped reading at. I can't prove to you that God is real, but I can show you his love. And it just completely blew my mind. I've been told before that I'm allowed to ask for signs. Everybody's allowed to ask for what they need, to give them proof. And it was the first very real manifestation of that I've ever seen. And I was like, all right, I'm supposed to be in Texas. I guess this is it, please. I'd been feeling like I was supposed to make a change, like I was supposed to move for a long time. And so I'm actually out in Texas right now. I have found a lot of community here. I found a lot of people looking for things. And honestly, in the area that I'm in, it's very corporate. And it doesn't feel like people love themselves the way that they're supposed to. And so I've also always felt like I was supposed to be some kind of agent of change for this world at this time. And so I'm trying to start a revolution, man. I'm trying to start a revolution of self-love. I want to inspire people to love themselves the way that we're supposed to. One of the golden rules, treat others the way that you want to be treated. And so that means lots of compliments for me and treating people really well. So I want to make this world a better place, but it doesn't necessarily mean I have to get on a political stage to do that. It just means that I need to be genuine, I need to be honest with myself and love myself so that I can inspire people. They're going to ask, "Whoa, dude, what does this guy got?" And they'll be like, "I want some of that." And I'll be able to explain to them how. It starts here. And when you're able to love yourself and appreciate who you are, you can then move that outward and appreciate and love other people for who they are. And when you understand that, you have a better idea of how to receive love from other people. And so that actually makes this triangle effect that is a love triangle, if you will. But in that, you find that Holy Trinity. You find Father, Son, Holy Spirit. You find Mother, Maiden, Crone. You find the idea of agape, that unconditional love that God supposedly has for us. So you'll notice I make lots of references. My main references are going to be biblical because that's a lot of my background. But I tend to play devil's advocate, and I like to look at all of the different religions and spiritualities that exist. And so you'll hear me make references to different ones, and I'm always open to answering questions about them as I'm able. I'm not a master of anything by any means. Well, I mean, I guess I have the title of a Reiki master teacher, but that's a title. It doesn't really mean much to me. I think actions speak a lot louder than words. So my intention for this video series and for the site that we have, www.intrinsictruths.com, and our YouTube channel, The Seeker Society, it's to promote those four things that I was talking about: awareness, knowledge and education, resources, community. So, help me out here. Like if you appreciated the video, if you found it funny, if you would like to see more, subscribe, and you'll be updated when we update it. You be good. I'm working with this channel with my partner in crime, Burke, and between the two of us, even if nobody watched the videos, it would be putting a voice out there. It would be hopefully guiding somebody, even if it's just us. And that'll still make the world a better place, because then we can be more genuine. Y'all be good. I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. Take it easy.